All right, good start. Pledge of allegiance.
Yes. Okay, welcome everybody. Okay, sorry, yep, welcome everyone to the May edition of the Cape May Beach Safety Committee. We had to postpone last time, so thank you everyone for being here. All right, we're just gonna go through roll call quickly. Stephen Steger. Here. Christine DiDonato, I'm present. Lorraine Baldwin. Here. Harry Back.
Here.
Sarah Werner. Incognito, okay, Alex Coulter. Tom Medvecki.
Here.
Eric Brzezinski. Roy Sundstrom.
Here.
And Catherine Rafter.
Here.
Welcome, Catherine. Again, we still have one position open for the Beach Safety Committee. If anyone knows of anyone, we're anxiously looking for somebody to participate. Okay, sorry about the notes there. That should say minutes for April meeting will be entered. Did everyone get a chance to look at the April minutes? Did anyone have anything that needed to be changed or corrected?
I think everything looked good.
Okay, good. Thank you. So motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you. Okay. Steve, do you want to go or?
Yeah, yep. All right, so I guess we'll just talk, first want to welcome Kate Rafter to the group. We're glad to have you. And if you could, just tell everybody on the committee a little bit about yourself.
Well, it's Katie, and,
Need a microphone
sorry.
and then turn it on to green.
is it on? I thought you just.
Yeah, just hit the
Yep.
button and then the green will go on. Yep.
Okay, is that good?
Yep, it's good.
My name is Katie, and been coming to Cape May for years. My parents have lived here for years, and my husband and my daughter and I moved here about 4 years ago. And we moved from Philadelphia, and when we moved here, once my daughter went to school, I have a little bit more time. I'm still kind of busy. She's only 6, but just was looking for opportunities to help out in town wherever was needed. So my father does some work, Lorraine, I think you know my father. And he had pointed this out to me and thought maybe I could be of assistance somehow. So here I am.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Glad to have you. All right, so we'll move on to the discussion about the open house that we plan on hosting in the next few weeks. So I guess the big thing we need to talk about that is what kind of marketing material we want to have available for that, if the Beach Patrol has anything that they want to bring to the event, or if we need to create anything for it.
And I'm just going to say, for those not here, we have decided on June 26th. Is that correct? That's correct, June 26th. And what time are we starting, and from when until?
We're just going to go 8:30 to 10.
8:30 to 10? Okay, great. And we'd really like, as a group, that everybody is, from the committee is able to be present on that morning and participate. And if you have friends and family, please encourage them to as well. Sorry, Steve, go ahead.
Yeah. And just for people that aren't aware what the whole mission statement is of having the open house, it's just so we can kind of open up the Beach Patrol to the public. Not that it's not already, but more so. So if anybody wants to come up from the public around that time, which is pretty busy down there, we'll have beach safety stuff available, general questions, answers, kind of like a meet and greet. A lot of people from the Beach Patrol will be there. They're there already, but it'll be more of like an open house for the public to kind of come and interact with the Beach Patrol and any of us. I mean, we'll just be there mainly for support, but that's basically what we're trying to, what the whole idea is behind it.
And what I would say is, Harry, maybe a little bit before 10 or around 9:30, you make just a little bit of like welcome and thank you for being here, and just giving the goal why we're doing this, and then maybe a little bit of information about some of the commercials that we'd be putting out and things along those lines. So it's really to open up communication between the public and the Beach Patrol, and just, having a friendly face. So go ahead, sorry.
Any thoughts, Chief, on maybe doing some type of like demonstration with people there. If we could have guards, I don't know if that's something that we wanted to do or open it up to, but if we are getting a good amount of people in there and coming around, young kids, but something like coming in and out of the surf.
Would they demonstrate like a
cover-up
mock
system,
rescue or something
something
like
like that that might be like
Yeah, we can,
focal point for the event. Just a thought.
yeah, we can put that together. We can talk.
What about using the PA system and then announcing it?
Yeah,
You have access to that, so maybe doing that and then letting people know, because it'll be out there on the website. It's announced here, but
Yeah,
I
I can
think,
talk to Casey to launch something.
To
on the
launch
PA
something on the-
page, because she basically told me they want to keep that for tourism-related stuff, so this is essentially a tourism-related thing. So I could reach out to her and have her do something and stuff like that.
Do you mean ahead of time where we're announcing it on the PA that we're,
Maybe-
that is coming?
yeah, so we're starting at 8:30, maybe, at, 8:15, let everybody know that there's, headquarters is open, come down, look at a demonstration project, some of the lifeguards, meet your lifeguards, things like that.
Yeah, maybe even on Saturday morning.
we could even, yeah, because that's what I was going to suggest. We can announce it the day before as well. And then, obviously this would be somewhat weather dependent as far as doing anything outside as a demonstration, but we'll see how that goes.
Anybody have any other comments on the meet and greet?
Well, anything, so are we going to do like coffee or anything along those lines? What do you think the best, sorry, I don't mean to speak to you, Director. What do you think the best way to do that? We want to make it a little bit different than every other day, so how do we achieve that without too much, disruption in people's days?
If it's possible, maybe we can get one of the local coffee merchants that are operating on Beach Drive, maybe, if they can. I mean, it's a busy time of the year, but if they can ahead of time, maybe they could donate a little bit of it, say where it's from, so there's some kind of refreshment.
All right, I mean, I'm happy to go talk to Coffee Time.
Yeah, and then like, supplying water and stuff like that,
Sure.
that's not that too complicated, I think.
All right, how does everybody feel about bringing one baked good of their own? Would that be okay? Okay.
Do I have to bake it myself?
Yes, Tom, I'm going to come and
I
watch.
think I'm
it.
buying.
Okay, yeah, so I'll talk to Coffee Time. If not, I know the Presbyterian Church has like big coffee urns, so I'll work on that.
Yeah, we can figure it out.
Okay, great.
And we'll probably get like a little subcommittee together, maybe to meet before
Yeah.
the whole event launches out, and we can kind of go over the logistics of everything ahead of time, so we're not doing stuff last minute, so we have a good plan in act. Not that this requires a heady plan of any kind, but just make sure we have everything accessible to us.
Agreed. Okay.
So,
Have you ever had an open house before, Harry? No? Okay, okay.
When do you do junior lifeguard signups?
They're going on now.
Are they? Do you think this event would, like, be a good opportunity to recruit for junior lifeguards and stuff, or not so much?
I don't think it needs much recruitment.
Okay,
Obviously, we'd be putting it out there that we do have it. Maybe have the registration forms and information packet there.
okay.
I think if we have a bunch of kids that you see or parents that have their kids with them, some of us can go ahead and pitch that to them or recommend it or suggest it.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was a need or not, but, I mean, it can't help to have information on there for it and stuff like that for anybody that might be interested, or may not even know about it, but, yeah. Cool.
Right, and we're working on getting the printed material done by that period. And then, Harry, I know we talked about downloading some stuff from the USLA. Do we want to have anything from there to? I have stuff. You do? Okay, great, perfect.
All right, you want to move on, so we'll just move on to the subcommittee about the PA system. Lorraine,
yeah.
you want to spearhead that one?
Yep, I can. We're still waiting. I did reach out to Vince. We're still waiting for the approvals. He said, I think at the last meeting I mentioned, it was going to take about 6 months.
Right.
So we're still waiting.
Right.
But we're hoping to be out, hopefully, it's budgeted, hopefully be out to bid in the fall.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And did you feel like this was a reality for next season, basically having this PA system up and running?
All goes well.
Right.
We're hoping.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah, because we already had a lot of the specifications that were completed for it, so.
Right.
I think we're in good shape once we get the okay
Just figuring out
to,
where we're going to put the poles and
Yep.
entrenching the wires and that kind of.
yep, exactly.
All right, well, does anybody have any questions about the PA system? No? Okay. I want to move, I guess we'll move on to the next topic, which is beach replenishment. Lorraine or Mark, would any of you guys, well, probably Lorraine first. You probably want to talk about
I
that
know.
one.
Mark, you want me to talk about it first, or?
Yeah, and I'll add to it.
Okay. We've been meeting as a subcommittee, been able to get a lot of things done with Mark's help, Steve, Harry, Christine. I mean, there's been a lot going on, a lot of things behind the scenes. And right now, we are, with your guidance, with direction, we're able to look at qualified engineers, and we're looking at, presenting that at this point to council. We're working on creating a document with your help. And looking at, what, RFQP.
Right,
So we're looking at-
RFQ, which is a request for qualifications for a coastal engineer to run modeling and any other types of important things to the committee, such as studying improvements that could be made to make the beach safer, document certain things, so you can tailor this and get an exact person who will run these models for you.
And then-
They would avail things to say to you like, make a groin bigger, make a groin taller, that may retain the sand, it may
sand.
have an impact on the surf zone, things of that nature.
And this is all going to be computer modeled, so, at this point, we're looking at some qualified
Right,
engineers.
so you're going to put out an RFQ to find somebody to do this work on your behalf. That would
Yep.
be a coastal engineer that would be dedicated to that initiative.
Yep.
And then what was the next step in that process? Once we, say you find a coastal engineer, the city hires one, the next process would be, I guess, hiring them formally to do the job and then come up with models for solutions.
And I think, too, the city would have to be clear as to what you're charging that consultant to do. So the more specific you can be, such as our goals and objectives are A, B, C, and D, that should be put into the RFP and then communicated to that consultant once they're hired. Because they will end up providing a monetary proposal to the city to carry that study out, whatever that might be.
And then a demonstration project could possibly be, at the end of it, looking at a few beaches.
They come up with a solution.
That once a solution, I mean, it's hard to predict what the solution's going to be.
Depends on what the models come up with. Models come up with solutions that will work in this area that, this is all as I heard it. So if they come up with solutions that will work for Cape May, not so much just pumping sand, but, adding groins, bulkheads maybe in certain spots, they're gonna do the research to figure out what will work. And then basically, it's up to the city from there to go after funding for that specific project, or we'll call it demonstration project for what that, what the data reveals, basically. And if it's successful and tested over a period of time, then you could deploy that where applicable anywhere else, and that is your formula, basically, moving forward. It's a lot of steps, but that's essentially the path that was laid out.
It's interesting, though, like, the way that our beaches go, it kind of goes on a little bit of some of it faces in different areas, so it's going to be interesting to see what they come up with in this study.
Yeah, I think the bottom line is if the city hires a coastal engineer or comes up with a recommended solution to retain sand and make that surf zone safer, et cetera, whatever you're charging them to do, then at that point, at least you have a plan. You can go to your local Congress people, Army Corps, et cetera, and say, this is what we believe is going to be a fix. Show us the money.
Yep. Yeah.
And I'm just going to back up a bit. So once we have the needs and objectives of what we're trying to do, how do we get that out there? What's the best way to get that out there to get the bids in?
Make some phone calls to some,
So, yeah, so that's going to be an initiative through the city, because it's going to be an expenditure of funds. So I think whatever goals and objectives that this committee would like to see in that RFQ actually should be communicated to the city's leaders so that they can craft that RFQ properly.
Okay, so, all right, perfect. Okay, anything, does anyone have any questions on that? Any comments, thoughts? Yeah.
Sorry, I don't want to come in too hot with a lot of questions, but
Yeah, please, go away.
is the goal to make the beach bigger, or or safe, more so safety?
The goal is to basically evaluate the solutions to help with not just the surf zone area, but the management of, engineering initiatives that the city is paying for through the federal government. So there's multiple layers to it.
Okay.
But it's also protecting the coast too. So if there's a storm and sand is removed from the beach naturally, then it has to get put back again.
Okay,
So I think it's a combination of safety and sand retention as well.
and are there,
To get a feel for like how the sand is moving when the storms are coming in, where is it ending up, and looking at that perspective. But yes, safety is a big part.
okay,
So hypothetically speaking, which is say, the research shows that if you enlarge the groins a certain foot, certain beaches, and they test it in their programs that they use, then, that way we can, if the federal government and you get the funding involved to do this, once you have a set plan that's written out, you can go to your, your higher up politicians, basically, to get the money from the federal government. Then basically they do that project and they see if it did anything different, basically.
okay,
And I think the RFQ could also put the city in position on how to actually manage and maintain the beach. So right now, the city has a general permit, so the city is able to do certain things within the limit, but if they got a CAFRA with individual permit, or what we call an IP, gives the city more latitude to redistribute sand up and down the beach to flatten it out, knock down scarps, et cetera.
How long does it take to
Okay.
get that permit?
6 to 8 months. The CAFRA IP, the GP, I think would probably be up this year or soon. The GP's easy for the city to get, it's a general permit.
But wouldn't it make more sense for them to have the permit that they can just move sand freely when there's a bad storm and poverty needs sand versus?
So that consultant,
the consultant,
when we craft that RFQ, that with that consultant, I think that would probably be a really good idea, that the city has the most latitude possible to move sand. That CAFRA IP would be good for 5 years, and I believe you can get another 1 5-year extension. So it'll be costly. It'll probably be a $30,000 permit fee, one-time fee, but you're going to have it for 10 years.
And that'll totally offset the cost of pumping so much all the time.
Well, you'll be able to move sand within reason. I believe it's, there's parameters for it, but it gives you more ability to move sand as compared to a general permit.
That's gone back to the survey as well.
Yeah,
And
And
the
it-
survey will help with that, correct? Yep.
yeah.
So you're trying to put as many, that coastal engineer was try to put as many tools in your toolkit to deal with whatever issues the city deems to be important, whether it's safety, whatever it could be.
It just makes, it seems like it's common sense to be able to, if you have the manpower and the equipment to be able to fix your beaches when you need it, say, like, middle of the summertime when there is packed houses up and down the beach, and we have a bad storm, and suddenly a beach is unusable because the cliff off of its 45-degree angle, they can just go down there with the back.
So, right, so if that's considered a storm of a certain magnitude, you can get an emergency use authorization for that. That's a whole separate animal. But if it's not an emergent storm, that's where you could fall back on that CAFRA IP. And it's going to have conditions on it. It's not going to let you do it every
Is there
day.
like a time frame where after a storm like that, you could do it? You could start moving?
If a storm hit here and it tripped the emergency use authorization and the DEP regs, I don't believe there's a time frame for it, but you have to get their permission. The CAFRA individual permit gives you latitude to do what you're proposing to do and what's permitted most of the time, unless they put restrictions on you.
Okay.
Would you have to seek permission every time you go to do?
Once you get the permit, you have it. They might have a condition in there where they say, hey, before you do anything of this magnitude, give us
There's something in
48
there.
hours or something. They might have a minor condition, but once you have the permit, you have the right to do
You
it.
pretty much can be free with, now, is the city free to hire like an outside contractor to do this themselves, or can it only be done by Public Works?
It can be done in-house, it can be publicly bid, procure a contractor,
Right.
volunteers, it could be whoever.
Right, okay. Good to know.
What happens after the 10 years?
Reapply.
pay again.
Reapply.
Some
Come up
permits have
with-
like a 5-year limit, and some have like 10 years. It's depending upon, there's a bunch of coastal permits.
That should
Each
just
one
be
has
something
their
they
own.
have allotted the funding away. If it's a 10-year program, a 10-year time, then they can have that money.
Yeah, yeah. It's something they would have to renew every year, like a,
Just
you know,
makes no
never-ending
sense.
wheel.
And that consultant will advise the city too, if you're looking to get into the water below the mean high water line, then you're going to be dealing with Army Corps, so that's a separate permit.
How far is that out in the water?
Well, that's a line that's established through survey on the
Okay.
beach. So that's why the survey is important, because it's going to delineate what that is. A licensed land survey will figure that out. But I think it's important that the city communicate an RFQ, what you're asking this person to do. Because if you're asking him to give you solutions below that mean high water line, then that's going to trigger Army Corps involvement.
The only question I have with that water line, is that survey have to be done every year then because of the movement of?
You got a lot of good questions, so that could be a condition of the permit.
Okay.
I got a CAFR permit for a coastal municipality, and that was a requirement that every year they wanted a survey to establish the mean high water line for different purposes, but
Only
it
makes
could be
sense.
conditioned.
For the beach service, I have to submit a survey every year showing where everything is, and on that survey, it has that mean high water line, and you have to be, because the beach changes every.
Yeah, it can't go.
So if the
many
city's
days.
already hired another
We've-
consultant to
we
do
have
that,
hired-
that's where that
we have hired
information
the
can be
consultant to do
given
that.
to the coastal consultant so that he can bolt that information into the
Mm-hmm.
permit application, and you're not paying twice, and it's the same info.
And some surveys can do topography, like the one I would get, you don't need the topography, but certain ones you can get that has a little bit more information on it.
Just want to cover the full basis if you're going to do it.
Yeah. Anybody else have any questions on the beach replenishment topic? Okay. Guess we'll move on to beach surf zone and educating the public. The only real development that I could say really came about today was that Sarah Warner sent us over an outline for the new beach safety video. Did anybody get a
I-
chance to look at that?
I did.
I love the video.
Should email it over?
It's pretty good. She spent a lot of time on it. It's definitely going to drive the point home. It's the same information, but I think with Sarah's talent, it can definitely have capture a wider audience. And as long as everything is good to everybody in the group, which, I mean, I'm going to let the professional run with it. Harry, have you talked to her about any of it?
I have.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, she's ready to go. She's going to start recruiting and getting people signed up for the script, and she's hoping to shoot video later this week.
Yeah. She's on it. It's pretty good, so if anybody didn't see a copy of it, it's in her emails. If you want a copy of it, I could send it to you if you want to look it
Okay.
over.
She asked for if anyone had any notes that they wanted to send her to tighten up the script or anything. She's open to that, so.
Yeah.
And she did the other video for the recruitment.
She did.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were
That's
good.
nice, that's out there. Nice video.
But, yeah, so basically, the purpose of these videos, once they're ready, I mean, they could be put on the Beach Patrol website, they could be put on the city's website, they could be, obviously, they'll be at Movies on the Beach, that's one of their main purposes. But they could be put anywhere, so, as long as we have them, and if the information comes up over the years, we want to add things, or we just make new videos, basically. But the outline's pretty much the same for them all, which is good. But, do you have anything about educating for the schools?
We did get into the schools for like a modified version of everything this year. Harry and the rest of the crew over there were super helpful, and we were able to put some things together fairly quickly. We got some of the younger lieutenants to go in, and I think that was a great way to spread the message. They came to Cape May Elementary, it was very effective. And I guess the plan for this summer would be to sit with Harry, now that our crew is completely there, and come up with a plan for next year in terms of time frame, so that they're prepared. When are whomever we want to be around going to be around, and how many times do we want to go in? Is this something that you want to do once, hit it once, and that's that? Do you want to try and take an approach that's like a DARE program or a LEAD program like the Cape May Police Department has, where they're going in? Theirs is pretty extensive, but ours wouldn't need to be like that, but they go in for 8 to 10 weeks to meet with a certain class every Thursday at a certain time. So that's an approach we could kind of look at and see. It all depends on budget, what is feasible. But I think being able to sit down with Chief and take a look at that, what are our options, and then put a better plan together and then revise the curriculum from there. Right now, the original curriculum was just a brainstorm dump of any ideas that we can kind of come up with that would fit the need of what we're trying to do. But that plan only works if what we put in place can kind of accommodate that. So I think that would need to change and fluctuate and revise based off what we decide would be the best approach.
Well, the kids loved it. My son came home and he was so amped. He said that lifeguard Zach made him feel safe.
That's good. Some good feedback.
That's good.
Good
No,
deal.
I think that's, I would
That's
love to
great.
get quotes, some quotes, things like that to put into the notes, because I know that Tom's worked hard on it, and we, it was he put it together pretty quickly and really took the onus on it, and we appreciate it, Tom.
Well, it's not even that, just like my 5-year-old, he says, like, he sees a lifeguard, and now he knows if he's in trouble or anything, he can identify that, and it's just huge for those little kids.
Yeah, I think the biggest impact will be in the indirect instruction where, some of these kids are really young, and I don't expect them to walk out of there knowing every single thing that the lifeguards had said. But if they can retain 1 or 2 pieces, but also, as you were just saying, they know what the
I mean,
lifeguard's
safety.
job is, and they might be able to kind of assist us in assisting others, kind of give those warnings of maybe don't surf like that, put your hands up, something like that, where there's a lot more eyes out there than we realize.
Some safe tips.
Yeah. I did have one thought that I wanted to kind of run this by everybody. When our website's live, I know we'll be able to get a lot of data. Well, it is live, correct? All right, we'll be able to get some data on who's coming from where, but I was wondering if there's anything else we could pull from in terms of data from the city, in terms of where like the largest number of tourists are coming from. I know we had an idea about sort of branching outside of Cape May County to start getting information to other places, but it seems like,
On the news site, on the analytics button, it does. Now, you'd have to get a lot of traffic coming from,
yeah.
you'd really have to pump the website up as far as people knowing about it. But it does give you a pretty nice diagram of like where they're coming from and all that kind of stuff, which does help.
Like if we were getting a large number of people from, say, like Lower Marion area, and we know that from where we're seeing, maybe we could put together something like, we're actually gonna send guards up there to these schools specifically because we know there's a huge population coming from this particular area. I know that seems maybe a little far-fetched right now, but it's just an idea, something that we can think about, and if that data is pointing to a few key large areas where you're getting a certain percentage, it's an outreach, it's something that could help those tourists in the off-season and those, again, just more people getting more information and having an understanding. I also think you see guards from a place where you don't see guards, they're not supposed to be there, that might hit home even more so that, oh wow, these messages really are important, there's something to it. Just a thought.
Yeah.
No, I think I think it's a very good idea, looking light with Wildwood. They've had 3 deaths in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And, on the website, it said Cape May County, or it said Cape May, and they mean off the coast of Cape May, which was Wildwood, but you want to be able to, like, address some of that stuff, and you could possibly do that.
I mean, ultimately, you could reach out to county tourism and, relay this information, if it's not already out there already, but maybe they didn't think of it. They could put it on their website mediums and stuff like that. I'm sure they would welcome it with open arms if we as a committee kind of present it to them. It's not a terrible amount of work. It's majorly, hey, here's the website, here's a couple of the videos that we came up with. We could even put our curriculum outline on there for, other areas that want to use it.
Download it.
Maybe, the school districts in Wildwood or Sea Isle City or Ocean City. I don't know if they have these in place or not. Maybe they do. I don't know. But if you put it on the county tourism outlets, or even New Jersey, and we could probably network with people in county tourism, I'm sure you have had maybe a couple dealings with people there. They can outsource it further into the state in multiple states. This is public safety information. This isn't
It yeah.
like we're selling something. So I'm sure they would welcome it if we did it, which we're very capable of.
Yeah. Is the curriculum fully revised and finished at this point?
I'd say up to this point,
Okay.
once we sit over the summer with,
Right.
with Harry and Marty and the rest of the administration over at the Beach Patrol, I think we can make some more revisions, which.
Mm-hmm. Based
brings
on
more
what you
ideas.
experienced
Yeah.
at the school, yeah.
If we-
Okay.
If we wanted to go in multiple times, then we can probably extend it. add
Extend the
something that
curriculum
kind of
further,
made it So that
yeah.
it was a few key, clear points by grade level.
Mm-hmm.
But if we have more time, then maybe we can add in some more ideas.
Yeah. Great work.
Agreed. Okay, does anyone else, anything else to add there? Feedback? Okay.
We'll move on to marketing, which we kind of already talked to that. So, the Beach Patrol website is technically live, but it's just a matter of us capturing the firmware domain name that we have. But CapeMayCityBP.com does exist. You could go there right now. But what we're trying to do is just, I wouldn't say it's complicated, but it's a matter of getting the ownership of the domain and all that kind of stuff, and just making sure that all the information is in. To get some of that information, but so we're on it. So the website does work, but what we're really want to do is we want to capture that existing domain name, because that's already established.
We're almost there.
Yeah.
We're
We can have
close.
multiple domains. It's not so much, but
Someone
we
else
do
has
want
the
that.
Cape May Beach Patrol domain?
No, so the original website that was created, I can't even give you a year that I did it.
Yeah.
But I did buy the domain name, but since I had left in 2012, that was passed on to whoever. So I don't know. What we were missing a way to go in and change the domain name to Squarespace from where we were hosting it now. So we're almost there.
Yeah.
Cove and I were real close the other day.
Yeah.
We thought we had it. He's on it.
Yeah,
He's
he'll
a
get
very
there. He's
smart
good.
man. He'll figure it out.
Yep.
And about that, just a little, it's kind of a tangent, but maybe once this is through, we present him with a certification or citation or something of appreciation.
That would be nice, yeah.
Because, well, he did
The
it-
City can give him some recognition
Yeah, I
for
think
that.
that
That
would
would be really
really-
cool. I'm sure he would appreciate that. I mean, he's doing it, he is going to school for this stuff, so he's doing it as a resume builder, but he's also a patriot of Cape May, too, so he's doing it for that, too. And,
So maybe
He's
it
doing a
went
good job.
at either at the open house or we do it through Mayor Mullick at one of
We
the
do it through
meetings.
council, yeah.
Okay.
yeah, but we're pretty confident. We're a few days away from having all that, and then once we do, the website and everything is going to be printed on the marketing material that we have, which I sent copies and proofs of all this stuff. This is basically a copy verbatim of everything that was in there before, just organized a little differently. But it's just a rack card, front and back. The city gives tons of these out. It's large, it's legible, and this format can be manipulated in any format. So once the city has this in their possession, they can pick this apart and do whatever they want with it. And then it also has the Nixle notifications on it too, which is basically through the police department, so I was able to get that code. So if you scan this code, it'll give you a link to sign up for Nixle alerts, which I actually did it. You do actually get the notifications, but they come directly from the police department, so. So we can kind of drive home the marketing a little bit harder on that through the city and for the police departments, because basically the police department owns the Nixle system. Well, not own it, but they manage it.
Manage it, yeah.
But it has all that information on there, and then as soon as we get the website stuff going, we have a spot in here that we can manipulate. We're gonna, for more information, go to this website, basically. And these are good to go, basically. We can print as many as we want of them.
Excellent, okay. Does anyone have anything, comments, feedback? Okay. And then we were going to do an update, unless they're on the accessibility maths, but Eric is not here for that. Has anyone had talked to anybody within the community? Any
I've gotten a
requests?
lot of good feedback on them whenever I'm down there. People like them. They've already been there, but now they're at
Every beach.
yeah, they're pretty good. Definitely plus with people in wheelchairs or just pushing baby strollers and stuff like that. It's nice. Definitely a good addition down there.
And actually, Harry and Lorraine, I sent you guys a text, I don't know if you saw that, but NewJersey.com is doing a story on it, and it was on Facebook. I didn't know if it was something that we wanted to look at, but,
Yep.
okay.
I've noticed one thing, when I'm down on the beaches, and I've walked past multiple, that there's elderly individuals that might not have been able to get as far down on the beach before, that are setting up their beach chairs and their umbrellas around the walkways, and that's a huge thing to give them
Yeah.
that chance
Oh,
to be
wow.
able to get it back on the beach and relax.
Yeah,
Yeah.
certain spots have bigger areas where they can kind of sit out at.
Congregate.
It's a nice area for, so they can be kind of off the beaten path, but they have their own little spot to be at, and there's still plenty of mat there for multiple people to sit there, so it's pretty nice. So, does anybody have any other comments about anything?
No, I just want to make sure, so before we go tonight, let's just put together a time to meet one more time before June 26th, so we're not, so we're organized for that day.
Let me look here. Would you want to meet a week before it?
I think that's reasonable, yeah. And again, we'll send out a reminder, again, ask people to sign up to bring something. I'll work on the coffee part of it. And,
So maybe we get a meeting going for like Monday, Tuesday?
I'm sorry, say that
Maybe get a meeting going for like Monday, Tuesday?
prior?
I think
Prior
so.
to okay, yes, that works. Oh, that's,
Want me to go
yeah.
get a couple dozen boxes of donuts and stuff to bring down?
Sure.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do those 2 days work for everybody? Is there a particular time? Probably after 5, I would imagine.
Why don't we just, why don't we say Monday, let's give it a time and a date now, so we're not, like, I don't want to bother people texting them.
Yeah.
So that is it's a week from today, or the 21st? Oh, you know what,
Where are we?
new job on Monday, so if we can do Tuesday, that would be better.
All right, we can do Tuesday.
Okay, so Tuesday, the 21st, also Monday's Juneteenth, so I don't know if we want to do it then.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Is Tuesday evening okay with everybody, or?
Yeah.
All right,
Do that.
I'll send out a text, that will have specifics.
And we'll figure out where the meeting location would be.
No, Tuesday, the 21st.
Okay.
And I'll probably send an email around, and everyone just let me know what you're going to be.
Yep.
We have to, do you?
That's, are you at council meeting? Well, we'll do it. You don't have to be there. I just want to make sure that we're organized to do it.
Yeah. Are you looking at headquarters?
To have the meeting?
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah.
Or just meet there at headquarters, whoever can make it, because,
Oh,
yeah,
that's-
to have this room, I don't know if you're going to be able to have.
Oh,
that.
no, we would just do it
Yeah.
like we normally do.
Yeah.
Okay, so is
Okay.
that okay, Harry? All right, 21st, what time? Guards are done at what, 5?
It's at headquarters, I'll be done at 5.
Okay, why don't we do 21st at 5?
I mean, we
5 o'clock,
we'd
yeah.
be in your way. A
Yeah.
lot of us showed up there at 5 o'clock. No? Okay.
Okay.
Great. Okay,
Okay, cool.
And I'll talk to you.
and now, okay, yeah, that's good, okay. And then we have the public portion, if anyone from the community would like to give any thoughts.
As much as you'd like.
I'm Dennis DeSatnik, 1307 Trenton Avenue, former chairman of this committee. I came to see how you guys were doing because you've been here since September, and I think you've done a lot of work, which is excellent. Some of it I would give constructive criticism to, and it's only my opinion. I've always felt that this committee was advisory. We had no authority, and it was up to the city council to follow up on what you recommended. One of the things I'm totally disappointed in is the PA system. Steve, did I misinterpret that you said Casey wants to use that for strictly tourism?
I don't recall ever saying anything like that.
Well, earlier
System for-
in the meeting, you made a statement about Casey wanting to use the PA system for tourism. Maybe I misinterpreted, but I'm just
I
going
think
to...
you misunderstood. Yeah, I don't.
Okay.
That's not the intent.
My point is that the PA system is an instrument used by everyone, whether it be tourism or the beach patrol, police. That should be tied together with police, EMS. That's the way we had planned to do that for years. My issue is that I didn't hear anything about wireless from Convention Hall to Poverty Beach. They're still talking wired?
We're still talking wired, yes.
Is there a reason?
The reason is because of the power. When we had it all spec'd out, unless you had another company that was involved in it, we had everything spec'd out, and they didn't have enough power in order to reach.
Has the city contacted any of the telephone companies?
No, we have not.
Well, to me, you could utilize their services, and I'm sure they would be glad to help out, as they were several years ago. But it's up to the city and the engineer to do that, not the committee.
We make recommendations to the council.
Did you recommend anything wireless? No?
No, we did not.
Okay, thank you. That's all I want to know.
Okay.
Just
Sure.
making points, as I said.
We looked into it.
The Nexel system, I would expect that that should be put out either in your beach safety booklet, which I hope it was,
It is.
and also on the signs, so the tourists and the bathers know about that. Beach replenishment has always been separate from the beach safety. Council recently hired Stuart Farrell to do 2 reports a year on 10 beaches. He'll be measuring again. I go back a long way with Stuart. At one point, I did not understand the importance of the replenishment program, but learned very quickly how important it is to the city. And we are in favor, no one in this town is not in favor of a replenishment program. The important area that has to be addressed, and I'll say it over and over until I pass, the surf zone must be addressed. I approached the city engineer over a year ago. I know I've spoken to Mark, I've spoken to Lorraine, in reference to contacting the Army Corps, the DEP, and Congressman Van Drew in the foundation of the work that was laid out. We were told that the city coastal engineer had to make the contact along with the city, not the advisory board. So my point is, have we contacted Van Drew, the project manager for the beach safety issue, not the promenade guy? And where are we with that? Do we have any results?
Yes, we have. We've contacted Haddon at Jeff Andrews' office. He's familiar with our concerns. That's the reason why we're going down this direction with getting a coastal engineer.
Have you read the report from 1992 again, where it said the Army Corps suggested 2 angles on the jetty, which I know you have, I know Christine had it, and I know the city had it? That was the demonstration project that was being pushed to see if you could do it. And if you'll remember, the Army Corps has admitted their mistakes from 1911 when they did the jetty or the inlet. I just find it unconscionable that people are still sitting, not doing what is already laid out. You know, I could call Van Drew and get an answer. We waited for him to become a congressman, and that's where he is able to take action. But the city has not moved forward, as far as I know.
The city is moving forward. We're working on hiring a coastal engineer.
But what about with Van Drew? What is his answer?
They are on board, they understand what's going on, but this is something that we need to do. We can't just say, you know, what are you going to do about this? We need to give them
Has there been
the
a meeting?
data. We have
Has
to
there been a meeting with the Army Corps of Engineers, the DEP, and Congressman Van Drew since we met with them?
I don't think so, not
Oh, that's
altogether.
not, okay.
No, not altogether.
I just think the movement, like I said, this is my opinion. I think it's wonderful you're finally going to hire a coastal engineer. I know Mr. Belasso, and I know he is excellent at what he's done. He's helped me over the years with permits, how to do things, and we got it done. The beach maintenance program is in place, And Joe Picard, God bless his soul, reacted every time there was a storm. And then he reported what we did. So you can take the action, not you guys, the city. Has to be there. Surf Zone videos and your curriculum, I think, is wonderful. You're improving it. It's been worked on for 10, 15 years since Harry's been there and my son was there. There's always room for improvement. The beach mats, you're doing a good continuation project of that. I think the update and the beach safety books and your media you're trying to work with is excellent. Are you going to use the present videos until the new ones are ready?
Yeah,
Okay, good.
they're on the site. They're there and they're ready to go.
Good. One other thing that I was concerned about, two things, and I'll stop. One was National Beach Safety Week was the first Monday prior to Memorial Day. I had thought that the mayor in his proclamation that meeting was going to be doing that. I turned those papers in, I believe, Christine, what was it, March? In March, the forum. And I was disappointed that we didn't recognize National Beach Safety Week. The second thing I was disappointed with, and tell me if I'm wrong, Harry and members of the Beach Patrol, for at least the past 10 years, went to every single school in Cape May County, and one school, if I remember correctly, came down to the beach for a beach safety program. So I was disappointed that that wasn't done. Now, I'll accept some of that responsibility, but I can tell you that the minutes from the previous Beach Safety Committee, they are and were in City Hall. Aaron Burke had them, and I had recommended early on last September that people review that. It would have helped. But again, I want to thank you for your efforts. You're doing a great job. I just think that realistically, we need the city to move. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody have any other comments? Are we good to adjourn? I'll make a
Yep.
motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.